I'm hungry. Olive, I'm talking to you. Is she looking at me? Hi. Oh no. Olive. Go get a snack.
No, I'm just, do your intro.
You hangry monster. So not cute at all. Not at all. Why do you always have the weirdest props? You can't rush art. Good morning! I thought it would be really fun to do a cut crease tutorial because I've been seeing a ton of really cool cut creases on Instagram, and I wanted to do a cool one with rhinestones on the lid, and then I was like, maybe I should start with a basic one, so that's what I'm doing. So this is a super basic cut crease, and it's just using really neutral colors. It's kind of like a shimmery white on the lid and then just kind of a deep brown that's blended out a little bit in the crease. I just wanted to show like the basic technique and some ideas of color combination that you could use. So that is what I did, and I'm also super excited, you guys, because I was a very bad person, and I went to Sephora, literally got there the minute they opened on the 12th, which is when they had the Anastasia contour palette in stock. I believe it was the first time ever being in stock in stores because it came out originally online and then sold out within like milliseconds. So I literally was the first one in the door to get this, and I did get it. My store only had like 20 or something like that. So I'm really glad that I got one because I'm pretty positive that it sold out within that day. So anyway, this is my very first time using it. I had not even like opened it and removed the plastic before this video. That's kind of how my videos go. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. But anyway, if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm starting off with my foundation, and this is the Hourglass Immaculate foundation. I love this formula. It's amazing, especially if you have slightly or super oily skin. It's really good, especially if you use like the Veil Mineral Primer underneath, then it's like double trouble for oily skin. It's amazing. The only thing that I kind of find a little bit annoying about it is that a little bit does not go a long way by any stretch of the imagination, and you also can't use it with the Beauty Blender because it's a cream to powder formula, and it kind of messes with the whole idea of it and the texture. So yeah, there are my little thoughts. Okay, so this is the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Concealer, and I'll have the shade names for everything down below if I don't know them off the top of my head. I haven't used this one very long. I'm just kind of new to it. I'm familiar with it from working with it in the past, but I haven't used it on myself a whole lot. I do really like it. It covers really well, but I would do it underneath your foundation if you're going to be covering blemishes and stuff, especially if you're using this Immaculate foundation. And I'm going in with my under eye concealer, which is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This one is, I believe, NC15, and it's really light for me right now. It's like the lightest shade that they make. So I'll probably move up to NC or NW20, whichever one it is. And then I'm setting it with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffused Light as usual. And make sure that when you're doing this that you're patting it into your skin. I know I've said this before, but don't sweep it or you'll mess up all that concealer, especially if you tend to pack it on underneath your eyes. Okay, so brows are done obviously, and I'm going to start off with my paint pot, I believe. Is that what I'm using? Yeah, I'm using the paint pot in Painterly, like usual. And then this is from the Sharon Osbourne collection from MAC, and it's just one of their eyeliners. I think it's the only eyeliner that came out with the Sharon Osbourne collection. I like it. It's okay. It's not the best eyeliner ever, but it's not bad, and for this purpose it's fine. I'm just going to map out the shape of my cut crease that I'm going to be working with for the rest of this look. And what you want to do is kind of do with your eye halfway open like I'm doing here, so you can see where that line is going, and you want to just map out the shape that you want. A cut crease can come in many different shapes these days. It used to be kind of like the twiggy look and there was like a certain shape that you went for, but now it can actually be in a bunch of different shapes. I'm just doing a pretty basic one. And now I'm taking a brush that is kind of medium stiffness, and I'm just blending out that line and softening it a little bit just to melt the product into my skin a little bit, so it's not so harsh, and it kind of blends in with the rest of the look. You do want to use a bit of a creamy eyeliner pencil for this exact purpose, and this one wasn't quite creamy enough, but it works. And then I'm taking Sable from the LORAC Pro palette, and I'm just going to take that on a pencil brush and help to further buff out that line. And you want the blendedness of the shadow to be above the line more so than below it, because below it you want it to have that really sharp cut. So below it is going to be the lid color, and you want it to be a sharp contrast between where you've cut the crease and the actual brighter lid color. So you'll see that I'm blending, but I'm trying to keep the blending upward. If you go below, it's not a huge deal because we're going to cover that up with some pretty stark white products, so it'll work out fine, but like I said, that's just kind of the basic idea here. And make sure that you just blend it really well. It gets a little harder to blend later on when there's a lot more products on your eyes, so this is a really, really good time to get everything kind of established. And next I'm going to go in with a MAC Pro Longwear eyeshadow. It's one of the bigger eyeshadows, and this one is called Uninterrupted, and that's a really nice, just kind of like mustardy, really light toned brown. I like it in the crease to kind of fade it up into the brow area. I just think it looks really nice with this kind of like brown tone look that we're doing. And I'm just going to buff that on both sides all the way across where we've cut that crease and make sure everything is nice and smooth and blended out. Now I'm going to go in with NYX eyeshadow pencil by, what am I talking about? It's by NYX, obviously, but it is in the shade Milk. And that's just going to help to make everything white that is below the crease, so it kind of separates out the different territories here for the different colors. And then once I get really close to that crease line, I'm going to take this little brush. It's actually a concealer brush by Sigma, but it works really well for cream products, so I'm just going to take it up there and kind of smooth out that area and really define kind of the whole area that we want to be white. You want to do this with your cream products because they're easier to work with when you're really carving out these shapes. This is an eyeshadow by Makeup Forever, and it came in the little pan when I got it, so I'm not sure if it has the number on it, but if it does, I will put it down below. And it's a really shimmery, stark, cool toned white, and I'm just going to pat that all over the entire white area. And as you can see, it's really starting to come together, this whole cut crease look. What you do with a cut crease is you kind of reshape your eye, if that makes sense. So you can make your eye look even bigger than it is. You can just make it look more almond shaped. You can make it look rounder. There's so many different things you can do, but this is kind of just a general technique. Okay, so this is a MAC eyeshadow as well, and it's one of the Pro Longwear formula. I'm just putting it on kind of the ball of the eye to give it dimension, and I did that on both sides, and then I did my liner. I'm going to use that same shadow for right underneath my brow to kind of highlight the brow bone. And after that, I'm going to take Glitter Glue by Too Faced, and I'm just going to stick that all over the white area once again, being careful to avoid the eyeliner. Now you can do your gel or cream eyeliner or liquid or whatever you're doing. You can do that after everything is said and done, but I really hate doing liner over glitter. I just try to avoid it at all costs. And speaking of glitter, this is a MAC glitter pigment, and as soon as you possibly can, you want to stick this on top of where you put that glitter glue, because you don't want the glue to dry and then it kind of defeats the whole purpose of glue. I do spray it with Fix Plus a little bit to get it to stay on my brush. It seems to work just fine, and it sticks really well to the glue, so you want to make sure and really cover that whole area if you can, because you want everything that is in the cut crease area to be kind of uniform. And then this is Makeup Forever. I believe it's 162. I love this shadow. It's so nice. It's just a really rich kind of red-brown shade, and I have green eyes, and so I just kind of like the way that it plays off of the green and makes them kind of stand out a little bit. And it also is a nice contrast to the top lid where we did like the stark white. I just think it looks really cool. So I'm taking that all the way along the lower lash line, and then I'm going to blend it out. I have a little bit more of that Uninterrupted shade on my fluffy brush that I'm blending it out with, just to kind of make it look a little bit more seamless and blended, I guess. And you want to be careful with the tail of your liner that your shadow doesn't just stop at some point along the tail. You want to blend it all so it's one nice, like, blended blizzard of color. That is what that fluffy brush is for, and it works really well for that. Now I'm going to take this Too Faced mascara, and I'm going to put it on both my top and bottom lashes, and I'm going to apply false lashes as well, which you will see in just a second, but I'm not going to do it on camera. And that is pretty much it for the eyes, you guys. I'll show you in a sec what it looks like. So this is with the false lashes on. And you can see open and closed. I love these lashes, MAC 36s. I wear them all the time. Okay, so this is the Anastasia contour kit. And like I said before, this is my first time ever using this. I like it. I'm using this one shade in the corner. I'll put the name down below, of course. I'm using that for my bronzer. And I have to be honest, it's very similar to the Makeup Forever matte bronzer that I use in shade 20. And I like it. It works really well for contouring. I think it's nice. So I'm just using my NARS Ita brush, and I am contouring with that and just blending it out really, really well. I like this bronzer because this contouring shade because it's kind of a red brown, and you may know by now I'm super into cool colors because my skin is cool toned and I have to use cool colors most of the time. But also in general, just for contouring and bronzing, when you get a tan, your skin turns red-brown naturally. It doesn't turn orangey, so this tends to be a little bit more natural, and you do have to blend it out really well, but I tend to like the look of it better. So I'm just going to take that all around the perimeter of my face and my temples, and then I'm going to blend it out. I'm actually using the foundation brush that I used today to blend it out. I think that it looks nice to kind of help melt everything together. And then I'm going to take the highlighting shade in the corner. This one's called Vanilla, and it is the matte highlighting shade. There's also a shimmery one, but this is the matte one. And I'm going to just basically highlight my face with that. And I'm using the same brush that I use to set my under eye concealer. This powder is pretty similar to my under eye concealer setting powder, so I have no problem doing that. Just going to take it on all the high planes of my face. That's the whole idea when you're highlighting, is you want to do it on the high planes where the sun would hit naturally. After that, I'm going to go in with blush. This is that blush, I think it's called Seduced at Sea. I don't know, I can never get the name quite right, just off the top of my head. This is the one from that MAC collection that came out a few weeks ago, and I have to say the color's nice, but I just don't love it because it just doesn't come off on your face very well. It doesn't transfer very well, so I find myself having to work at it for quite a while, but it's still nice and the packaging's totally worth it. Anyway, so I'm just still blushing, waiting for it to actually show up. And after that, I'm going to just go ahead and do my lip. I'm going to be concealing it in a second, and I'm concealing it with the Kat Von D Tattoo Concealer, so that's why it looks different than usual. I would rather do a cream concealer for this, personally. I didn't really love the way that this worked, as opposed to the MAC cream concealer that I usually use, but it's fine. It's not a huge deal. After that, I'm going to take this lip liner. It is also by the Sharon Osbourne collection from MAC, and it's called Cranberry. This color used to be a permanent collection color, and I guess it's not anymore. I guess it just like kind of makes an appearance every once in a while in a limited edition collection, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. It's kind of rosy and it's really pretty. I like it. I'm going to just line my lips with that and fill them in a little bit. And then this lipstick is also by MAC. I've depotted all my lipsticks, so I'm going to be using a lip brush almost always from now on. I just find that it's easier and, I don't know, easier to keep them all in one place that way. So, yeah, and I'll have this lip color down below as well because I can't remember it. But after that, you guys, we are pretty much done. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I will put my Instagram, whatever you call it, on the screen, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!